Okay, guys, help me out. I was at the track today with a buddy of mine and we were having some great battles. I noticed a pattern that when I started ahead of him, it didn't take long for him to pass me. But once he did, I could stay glued to his rear wheel and he couldn't get away. For some reason, when he was ahead, it gave me a bit more confidence. Maybe just because I had him right in front of me, showing me that yes, it's possible to carry more speed through the corner, etc. Then when I would be
Mm.
out front, I just had a little less confidence to push harder. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's faced this. So are there any suggestions or tips on overcoming that, or is it just going to take some seat time? That's a great question.
That
And I don't know if
is.
I've ever been asked that.
Mm-hmm.
And Dave, have you experienced that same feeling before?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like every racer has pretty much the same opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, unless you're Jet Lawrence, I guess.
Unless you're Jet, yeah, unless you're Jet
Yeah.
Lawrence, because he can figure it out. But
Yep.
100%, we prefer to have a carrot to chase. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't want to be the one that wears somebody else's carrot because think about when you're out front of a really big race, your nerves are going, don't mess it up, you're blowing through lines, you're not focused on your own race, you're carrying momentum forward, thinking about, oh my gosh, is this guy gonna come up the inside of me? Is he going on the outside? Did he brake as hard as I did in this one section? Did he outbrake me? Is he shifting back? Like your mind's focused on somebody else, and you end up going exactly where your mind goes, which is backwards, because you're thinking about somebody behind you. But if you've got that dangling carrot, you're focused on getting him. You're not focused on the mistakes. You're not focused on the issues. You're just focused on catching that person in front of you. So a lot of the noise, the chatter, the distractions, they kind of go away, and it's all focused on that's my immediate goal. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. And you also have that person in front of you as the guinea pig. So you can use their, like you said, at their braking zone as forget about like even aside from the mental game, you can just watch where they get off the brakes and just stay on the throttle a little longer.
Yep.
You can see that they took a bad line and then not take that line. So there's a lot of practical usage. So when you're behind somebody, you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
Now the negatives are maybe you're getting roosted. Maybe they're holding you up in certain lines. There's negatives to it as well. But yeah, I think most everybody, Colton, would agree with you in that a lot of times it is easier to be behind somebody.
Oh, for sure.
For a little bit. Carmichael talks about on TV a lot where he'd rather be the guy behind than having to lead the race the entire time.
Him and Stu battles. You can tell Ricky he didn't pass Stu until he had to. Except for like there's the occasion when the year that Stu was on the 252 stroke, like 05 and stuff. But Ricky was cool hanging behind Stu until the 3/4 mark of the race, and he was like, okay, now it was my time to charge and get away.
And Stewart would do that with Carmichael and Supercross too. Yeah,
exact same.
Yep, and those are people that you guys would consider superhuman, and they still were doing that for a purpose, and it was because they didn't want to be the one leading that guy that's a second behind them and right on their rear tire.
Plus, you don't want to show lines either. Like you don't want to show when you're faster.
So many,
which goes into what you just said. Like you get to see the guy in front of you and see what lines, use him as the guinea pig, and I think I did that with you. I think I was on a big bike and you were on super minis, which you should have been on 450s at that point, but whatever. I forget what track it was, but there was a double section, and I thought it was like rollers. It was a double, and I was behind you, or you were the practice in front of me or something, and you doubled, and I was like, oh, that's a double, and I started doubling. You know, I had no idea. And again, it's a weird sort of akin sort of case, but stuff like that, like, oh, okay, use AJ as a guinea pig, he did that. Or the day I followed you and broke my wrist at Moto Town, when we had the inside was a roller double, the outside was a double table to single or something, and you were like, just follow my lines, because I think I was trying to make it like a half a second or something, and you used the inner roller to double, and I did it for one lap, but you didn't warn me that it was slippery and like, hey, maybe rolling the throttle a little bit. And I just got on it, slid out, broke the crap out of my wrist, had to miss the whole series. So, but stuff like that, like, yeah, that's when, I mean, don't break your wrist like I did, but things like that, like following somebody who is faster or having that carrot really helps you to kind of hone in on a lot of cool stuff too. So
tips, if you are the person in front, Colton, because you do want to be good at that as well, is to be able to focus on yourself. Try and find somebody else in front of you, even if it's somebody 4 straightaways ahead that you can kind of just start marking and chasing. something to anchor your focus on, because the last thing that you need to and should be worried about when somebody's behind you is what they're doing.
Yeah.
There are times when if you're in a racing situation, you have to be really conscious of where you're going to protect lines, but the cliche of you need the race in front of you is true for a reason, in that if you think about what's going on behind you, eventually that person's going to go right on by.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to just figure out, okay, stick to my game plan. Hopefully if you've ridden that track before, if you've ridden enough laps, like you kind of know what your game plan is anyways. You have your marks to hit.
Yep.
You have your landmarks to stay in the throttle too. So you kind of know what your plan is. I used to be bad about it.
Same.
Bad. And it was part of my whole evolution too, of being the person that won all the races kind of easily with nobody around, right? Because back in the day when I would race local stuff, not only was I winning, but usually I was winning by a lot.
Yeah.
So even if I was winning races and somebody was battling with me, I didn't even like that, because I just wasn't used to somebody being right on my tire. So then when it got to 65s and 85s, now I'm at these amateur nationals, and not only am I'm not winning, but there's guys on me all the time. There's never a time where there's not somebody right on me. I didn't know what to do. I was always riding behind me, always worried about, and subconsciously kind of just wanting them to go by me so I could just be behind them.
Yeah.
But you can't do that when you're in a race, because you do it to one guy, and next thing you know, you're
There's
letting the next guy go. Yeah.
The top 20 for amateur nationals are all AJ Catanzaros.
Oh, I've fallen into that trap in like 450A qualifying in Supercross before, when you got 22 of the top 450 Supercross riders in the world, and it's like, all right, I'll hop behind this guy for a lap, but then you hear somebody else flying up on you on a fast lap. Oh, I'll let them by.
Yep.
Oh, let them.
Oh, crap, rocks.
And next thing you know, the 20 guys have gone by you, and you're like, I can't even find any room on this track to do my thing. It's like, just, you got to worry about yourself.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. But Colton, I will tell you, the more exposure you get to that, the more kind of numb you'll be to. You'll get used to somebody riding behind you. Maybe another tip too is earplugs. You want to know that somebody's there, but you don't want it to sound like they're on top of you. So especially if they're like riding a Yamaha and that airbox is just in your face. Yeah. Earplugs. Just dull the senses a little bit. Yeah. Especially in Supercross, because, you know, you're in a stadium and it's echoing and it sounds like somebody could be 2 lanes over. Yeah. And it sounds like they're on top of you. Earplugs help.
Do earplugs. I've just recently started doing a mouth guard like the last year or so, to kind of have something to like, not really bite on or chew, but just to kind of keep you like, if you need to, you know, a little bit. But earplugs, I think, are the.
I need to try mouth guard.
Yeah, keeps my teeth pretty.
I had a company sent me a custom fit one that I did a molding for and everything, and I got to find it. I lost it. I've never tried it.
Try it.
I figured it might be good for me because it would help me breathe through my nose more.
That's
Instead of, I'm guilty of just riding like this. So you would see pictures of me
like the fish in SpongeBob, just
and I would get off of a moto and I would have swallowed a pound of dirt, like just gagging and throwing up my helmet because I'm just the whole time I'm riding. But also the bad part about that, just mouth breathing. Right. So you should be really trying to get those in. You can start when certain heart rate, you can start exhaling through your mouth for sure, but you really should be trying to inhale, I would say, for as long as you can through your nose. If you guys enjoyed that podcast clip, you can listen to full episodes on Apple Music and Spotify. And make sure, if you haven't already, join our community inside of the Moto Academy app. Go to themotoacademy.com today. I'll see you guys inside the community.